Michelle.
Hi, Jess.
Hey.
Hey.
So we want to welcome everyone to Wellness Wednesday during our week of love. I am Jessica. I go by Jess. My pronouns are they, them, and she, and I am the program coordinator for Connection for Wellness at the Centers of Wellness for Urban Women. And I am joined by Michelle Clegg. Pronouns? She, wonderful. And she is the manager of Whole Health Programs. Today we're going to be talking about self-love, self-care, some of the resources that CWUW has to help you in your journey of self-love and self-care, ways to support the wonderful work that we're doing, and ways to further connect with us. Michelle, what is self-love? What is self-care?
Oh, such a loaded question, Jess. I think for me, self-love looks like self-acceptance. So I think there's this idea that we always have to be improving, which is a good thing. We always want to work on ourselves and improve where we need to, but at the end of the day, accepting who we are, loving ourselves completely and wholly is really important for me, at least. And yeah, I think that's kind of where self-love starts.
I love that idea of self-love as acceptance. I think that sometimes we look externally for self-love. We look for that validation. We want people to see that we're taking care of ourselves or see that we love ourselves instead of embodying it. So I love the concept of making sure that we're accepting ourselves, and not even just accepting ourselves, but accepting ourselves in every form that we come in. We don't have to wait until things are perfect or just right to arrive to a space that we're like, you know, I like me and I want to take care of this version or this form of me. And that could be tough, especially these days.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of, I think, messaging that we get that always tells us that we're not good enough. So for me, it's really just been taking ownership of who I am and acknowledging that I'm wonderful the way I am. However, there are certain areas that I might need to work on, and that's okay.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way for sure. Big goals, lots of ambitions, feel like I have skills or talents and things that I should be utilizing. And part of my self-love journey has been accepting that I don't always have to be in motion in order to be accepted by myself or others. Sometimes it is okay to rest. Sometimes it is okay to deprioritize certain things and to hold your boundaries so that you can make sure that you have time for yourself. One of the things that I've really gotten into this year is making sure that I am not having as much juice as I used to or soda and really recommitting to my water intake. And I've noticed that it's helped with everything from my moods to the ways that I'm viewing myself, you know. I like what I see when I'm hydrated. I like how I feel when I'm rested. So making sure that I'm committing to those things. And then another thing, you know, we love our walks, you know, and you'll be talking a little bit more about that in a few, but also just really looking at, you know, I worked remote for 3 years and I wasn't very active in that time because I was working from home. So when I returned to the office in this position, I was like, okay, I don't necessarily want to get, you know, seat butt. It's one of those things I think I saw on like Good Morning America. They were talking about, you know, if you return to the office, making sure that you're still active in ways that you can still stretch and take care of your body. And so realizing that my body does like movement and committing to at least a mile worth of steps a day, the 4 days that we're in the office. And I was really proud in January I was able to accomplish that. I think I did it all 4 or 5 weeks, at least 4 days a week, at least a mile's worth of steps. And it made me feel good, you know?
And look, I can attest, she was out here walking around. I walked a couple times with her, so you were committed, Jess.
I tried to be. And it was tough because there were some days that I was just like, I don't want to get up. Can I just sit here? Like, what is wellness on days that your feelings are bigger than your goals? And I think for me, connecting it to the fact that I do have an active body and I have an active spirit, and my body appreciates motion, you know, because it's either going to be motion or emotion. And instead of
that is nice.
Right.
Look, we need to use that.
Absolutely, we can. You absolutely can. But making that choice, and I think making the choice to be in motion and moving my body when I feel the need to move, not necessarily moving my mouth, but moving my feet. You know, I've been in therapy for the last 3 years and I've gone weekly. So I do get that opportunity to move my mouth, but also recognizing that when certain things are stirred up in my body, I don't have to sit in my chair and be stationary if I'm not tethered to the task that I'm doing, and giving myself permission to lean back into my self-care so that I can still love myself, because I don't always love myself when I choose emotion over motion.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think we had done a Wellness Wednesday last year, and where I talked about closing up the stress loop. So how our body goes through the stress response whenever we're confronted with something, big emotions or something like that. It's important that we move those emotions through our body. A lot of times we'll sit with it, you know, which is good, you know, to sit with it sometimes, but you do have to do something to move those big feelings and those emotions through your body. So for me, most definitely taking a nice walk every morning does it. But as y'all know, I love Zumba. I'm always going to dance it out. Zumba has kind of been my unofficial therapy for over 10 years now. So I'm right there with you. I'm an active person. My body needs to move, especially when I'm feeling big emotions. I need to do something to get them out of there. You know, move them through.
And I love how you brought up dance. One of the things as well that I've been doing since returning to work in the office is just having a little dance break in the mornings. I play my music in traffic. I don't live too far from the office, so that's good as far as the commute time. But I'll get here a couple of minutes early and I'll sit in the parking lot. And while I'm getting my stuff together, I'm playing whatever song, you know, happens to come up on my playlist or YouTube. And I'm just getting out those early morning things, because I don't do coffee or like caffeinated tea. So movement really does it for me.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I always encourage people, like I said, we have different programming that's available at the Centers of Wellness for Urban Women, and one of those programs is Connection for Wellness. So working with people to destigmatize mental health access. Like I said, I'm in therapy once a week, and I have been for the last 3 years, and that's how I've developed the understanding of like shifting my coping mechanisms. My coping mechanism used to be lashing out at people, you know, being reactive, using words that might not necessarily be found in the dictionary. So I still have access to those more reactive coping mechanisms. But what I found was that when I engaged those, my body didn't feel good afterwards. I might feel more stressed. Certain things might be locked up. I might have a pulled muscle because of the tension that I'm holding. And I found that when I was more reactive with my coping mechanisms, when I was more reactive with my coping mechanisms, that I wasn't really caring for my body in the aftermath of it. There wasn't an aftercare element. So one of the things that I encourage people when they connect with us for Connection for Wellness is to figure out what their wellness goals are. You know, we do the 7 dimensions of wellness, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, environmental, intellectual, occupational, or social. And I feel like we do a great job overall with that, whether it's with programming, resources, and support, making sure that we support women and their families in not only destigmatizing mental health, but also providing them with the resources and referrals so that you can get to a therapist. And not only so that you can get to a therapist, but so that you have the means to pay for therapy. Because that's the other thing. There's a lot of talk about self-care. And I think that one of the things that we do well is when we talk to women and their families about caring for themselves, we not only implore and challenge them to care for themselves, but we give them the resources and the environment to care for themselves. We just had our first burnout drop-in space. That was great. That was an opportunity for people to come in and to recognize that, oh, I have been irritated for a while, and I might be choosing emotion over motion. And they could come in and sit with a weighted blanket or journal, or really just power down and turn your mind off. And it's a way for you to reconnect with yourself and really listen to your body and what's needed. So if you are someone who is dealing with burnout, if you're curious about what burnout might be, if some of those things sound familiar to you, you can absolutely contact us. We're happy to walk through that process with you, happy to help you find a mental health practitioner, happy to help you get the resources to pay for mental health services, and here to support you along the way. And I know that, as the manager of whole health programs, you also, are in charge and over certain aspects and initiatives that really encourage movement. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So our longest standing program here at CWUW is Sisters Together, Move More, Eat Better. That program really focuses on prevention and maintenance of chronic illnesses like diabetes and hypertension. So as I said, longest running program. We started it with monthly walks, and we are still doing those walks. We have one coming up on February 22nd at noon at Frederick Douglass Park Center. Their indoor track is amazing.
Okay.
So we're going to be meeting there. Sisters Together has some moving parts, Jess. So first of all, we do our 90-day challenges. So we have one going on right now until May, the beginning of May. 90-day challenges bring us together in a virtual space and give everybody kind of a way to support each other, encourage each other, get some help creating some really hard goals, SMART goals specifically. Anybody who knows me knows that I am the one always talking about SMART goals, because for me, writing it down and being specific are the keys to success. Because if I just have it in my brain floating around, I might try to do something here and there, but it's not really in, the front of my brain. So I write it down, I put it on my mirror, I put it on my refrigerator, I make sure I'm reminding myself of whatever goal I have. So the 90-day challenge really helps with that. I've also created in that challenge a nice little calendar of all the free fitness opportunities and movement opportunities here in Indianapolis through different organizations. Indy Parks does a really great job at offering accessible classes, as well as some of the different community centers around the city. So we've created that. We're also probably going to be doing a few of our own fitness classes. As you know, I'm a Zumba instructor, so I always have to throw my hat in the ring a little bit. So be on the lookout for that if you are a part of our 90-day challenge. We're going to be having 2 additional challenges as well. So if you didn't get to be a part of this one, no worries. You can catch us next time. So along with the challenges and the walks, we also offer some educational opportunities, especially around chronic illness, like I was saying, diabetes and hypertension specifically. So we are looking to create site cohorts. So if you work for an organization that you think your constituents or clients would benefit from a Sisters Together cohort, where we get together and we talk about these things. We talk about whole health, we talk about movement, we talk about nutrition, and we talk about the 7 dimensions of wellness. So if you guys are interested in that, please feel free to reach out to us. We also are doing some really exciting things virtually. So if you can't get to be a part of a site cohort, you can still gain that access to all of that education and information.
I love that. And I love how flexible and caring y'all are. I got my A1C tested.
Yes.
Tracy assisted with that. She was able to. I don't do needles. That's why Michelle is laughing, because I don't do needles. The needle was not exposed. It was just the idea of having blood drawn that kind of, I almost moved into a different type of motion versus emotion. So Tracy was so gentle with me, and I was able to check my A1C, and that was one of the benefits of enrolling in.
Yeah.
Is that part of the Sisters Together program?
It is. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up, Jess. So whether you are a part of our 90-day challenge, that has been most of the people who have come in, because I put it as a challenge activity. But also, if you fill out the Sisters Together enrollment, you can come in and get a free A1C kit. The A1C kit, as I was telling Jess when she got hers done, it's a full year of tests. So we do the first one here in the office, teach you how to prick your finger, collect the blood. It's very painless, isn't it?
It is. It was just a prick. My emotion was bigger than the actual impact that happened. So don't y'all run off when you get it.
And we're here to answer any questions that anybody has about it. We walk you through the process. We get your number, and then you get to take retest home, and then we'll follow up with you in another 3 months and see if any of your numbers have changed. It's a great way to be able to monitor your A1C without having to go to your doctor, make an appointment, go through insurance and all that stuff. So it's a really great option. And we also, along with that, will test your blood pressure. So you can know whether if you have numbers that are indicative of hypertension or pre-hypertension, so that you can, contact your physician and get into a care plan for that. So
I love that. Yeah. We're here to help with every aspect of your care and wellness journey. One of the things that I think that I'm extremely proud of as far as CWUW is concerned is our ability to really walk with people in whatever their wellness journey is. Given the populations and the communities that we work with and that we serve, we know that sometimes self-love and self-care isn't a priority because you have to prioritize other things. So I like to think that we have a good balance of not only inspiring and encouraging women and their families to prioritize their wellness, but also doing those tangible aspects, helping to find a mental health provider as well as pay for mental health resources, that A1C, blood pressure, and walking, really making sure that we're caring for the broad aspects of wellness and care and self-love so that we can kind of shift some of the things that we're used to doing because we want to take care of our bodies. We want to love our bodies, and we don't just want it to be external validation. I want people to look at me and be like, you do take care of yourself, and I see that. And I want that to be because of everything and not just because, my hair is done or, I've put on new clothes. So I love that about us. And then one of the things, like I said, that we do especially well is providing programming for people. If you're interested in connecting with Centers of Wellness for Urban Women to support the programming that we have, you can go to our website at CWUWonline.org. There is a banner at the top that says your donation supports women and their families. Donate today. You can make a one-time donation, or you can set it up for a monthly donation, and that helps to support some of the initiatives that we're talking about so that we can continue to help women and their families prioritize self-love and self-care. Michelle, anything else? Am I forgetting anything?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
High five.
High five.
Wonderful. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.